Hello everyone, this is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne. And I bring you a video tonight titled, The Sex Symbol Man, Disrespect, and Jealousy from Other Men. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. The sex symbol man, jealousy, and disrespect from other men. This is a video that has to be made. Now, there's some other titles that I had in front of this one in my notes, but this one just has to be made because you all need to understand what happens when you make a conscious and concerted and consistent effort to improve your life, what's going to come with it. Okay, so that's what this video is going to be about. See, the sex symbol man, he's productive. He doesn't dwell in the land of words and empty proclamations about what he's going to do or what he's going to be. He's more so action oriented. If there's anything that surrounds this man, that defines this man, it's ambition, it's fearlessness, and it's execution. Okay, in conjunction with an unparalleled physical appearance that makes the world and makes women want to know more when they see him. That is a sex symbol right there. He's clicking on every cylinder, every layer that a woman peels back of him. After she's intrigued by his appearance, she's more impressed with him. She's more intrigued by everything that she learns. And that man doesn't have to wear it on his sleeve. He doesn't have to brag to the world about who he is. It's interpreted energetically. It's felt. And then when a woman gets to know you, she peels back your layers, it's confirmed. This is a sex symbol man right here. But what happens is that when it comes to ambition, that means you're going to elevate, you're going to rise. And if you can execute, you have discipline, and you have focus, and you can complete something, then you're going to rise, okay? You're no better than anyone else. There's just going to be a natural separation between you and the men around you. So you're going to rise. You're going to take yourself seriously. You're going to explore yourself. You're not going to squander your gifts. You're not going to squander your talents. Everything that you were given, you're going to develop a vision, purpose, ambition, fearlessness, and execution to surround it. That is a real sex symbol because you're in a perpetual state of producing. And most men are in a perpetual state of fucking talking. So this is something that you have to accept. And if you're not this man, don't covet that man. Become that man. That type of man, okay? But I'm here today to talk to the men who have put the work in, and there are a continuum of things that are happening in your life that are happening the same way in the life of other men who have become sex symbols, men of ambition, men of execution and fearlessness. We all have the same stories every day. We all have the same experiences. So this is what this is about. And the jealousy is going to manifest because the men around you, once upon a time, they saw you beside them and they convinced themselves that you all were alike. And what happens is that as you execute more ambition, more fearlessness, and more execution, then what's going to happen is that you're going to be further away from these men. Even if at times you still stand beside them, you're going in this direction and they're choosing to remain stagnant. They talk about what they're going to do. And you are a man of few words, but you're a man of much ambition and much execution. So there's a separation that's taking place and it's happening right in front of the men's around you faces. And a lot of them don't like it. And so the disrespect comes in a multitude of ways, but there's only a few ways I'm going to focus on. The first is minimizing your accomplishments, speaking down on what you're accomplishing. And a lot of times people will see you celebrated on a mass scale. When you truly give your best, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, they'll see you celebrated on a mass scale, right? So your name will get out there. You will become notable for something because you gave a consistent effort from your best, your gifts and your talents, right? So you develop a name. And the people around you will do things to minimize the accomplishments that was able to get your name in a broader light, in a broader arena. And they'll try to minimize the things that you've accomplished. So that's the first way that the jealousy manifests itself is that they'll try to minimize what you've done. They'll see the greatness that surrounds you. They'll see that you're achieving some things, you're on your way, but they will not not often or not at all speak to the things that you've accomplished, okay? And they'll try to minimize it if they do speak to it, right? So the second thing that I want to focus on is how a lot of men, they're going to try to give you unsolicited advice. Unsolicited advice. And this is the most common way that a sex symbol man, as he's ascending upward, is going to be disrespected. Okay. Outside of trying to minimize you and your name and your accomplishments, people are now going to try to give you unsolicited advice. This is what I see the most. And it's the unsolicited advice is disrespectful because it's disrespectful to give another man unsolicited advice. It's just disrespectful. The man did not ask for the advice, but the men are constantly trying to give him the advice. And this is why, okay? They don't want to feel like you're too separated from them. They don't have the ambition and the focus to execute whatever their gifts and talents are and create some sort of plan for their life, execute something. So what they want to do is attach themselves to you. They want to be able to go around and brag and say, oh yeah, you see this guy? I told him to do this. I told him to do that. That's why these guys are always giving you unsolicited advice. And sometimes even people around me, they can see that I don't want to hear that shit, right? And then they'll still do it. They'll still do it until you get to a point where you have to separate yourself from these people. But their purpose is they know that they haven't accomplished anything close to what you've accomplished. So the purpose in the unsolicited advice is to feel like they're not that separated from you. If they can see their advice in your advancement, then they can not feel as bad about the separation that is the reality of the existence of you two. They want to see their advice in your advancement. And so they may say things to you, and it could have been 50 other people saying these things to you. You could have even thought this, but they want to feel like they're the one that was catapulted you to do something different to get a better result. And that's because they don't have ambition and drive and focus. All they have is the need to take shortcuts. That's what a lower tier man does. He takes shortcuts. He takes shortcuts through associating himself with people who have discipline, who have focus, who have ambition, who can finish something. And if they're all over the place and the results in their life are a reflection that they're all over the place, then they're going to try to latch on to what you've created. And then the advice that they give is so nominal and it's so lower tier because they can't take you any further than what they've accomplished. So there's a third thing. They're trying to get you to be like them because their advice is an attempt to make you like them. They want to make you like them because they want to be you, but they don't have the discipline and the focus and the fearlessness to execute something. So they want to be like you, but to make themselves feel better, they want to associate themselves with you and hope that you take their advice because in that way they can look at you and say, oh, he's like me. That's how deep this thing is. They want to bring you back down. And see, the advice that they give, it's nonsensical. And some of you all listening to me, you all are going through this. You all have elevated yourself and there's a separation between you and the other men. But the nonsensical part about this is that your life is completely different than theirs. Your life does not mirror their life in any capacity. And they still want you to be a reflection of them. That's where it gets nonsensical. And when I say you're going to have to draw some lines, because there are some men in your life that are not going to relent. They're not going to give up. And they're going to keep disrespecting you, giving you the unsolicited advice, telling you what to do every chance they get about every facet of your life, because they're not happy with their life. So they have to feel like they're a part of your life because they're so unhappy with themselves. And they're so unhappy with how different that your life is. And they know that your life is different. Your lives are different. So they know it makes no sense to even try to give you advice because there's nothing similar between the two of you. But they do it anyway. It's nonsensical. But this is the reality of why they're doing those things. They want you to be like them because they can't stand the sight of you and the discipline that it takes to be like you. And so you're going to have to draw some lines. You're going to have to separate yourself from some people. See, a sex symbol man is felt energetically when he enters a space. That's why you have men coming at you disrespectful for no reason. Men that don't even know you. Oh man, who is this dude? You know, you get around groups of people, somebody starts pressing you. Yeah, where you come from? You know, like people are uncomfortable around men who look really good, who take themselves seriously, and who have improved themselves from the inside out. Men who had a desire to be no one other than themselves. Men who love themselves enough to give the best of themselves and get the best back in return. That's the sex symbol man right there. And that man shakes up rooms. He makes other men feel uncomfortable because he's a reflection of the lack of discipline that they possess. He unravels and unveils every piece of manipulative rhetoric that he spills and lies to people about who he is. Everything that the inferior man tells the world that he is, when the sex symbol man walks in the room, he unveils that and he unravels that. And that motherfucker hates that shit. And that's why they always try to bring you down. And they're always in competition with you. But see, the thing about the sex symbol man is he's not threatened by another man. The sex symbol man is so ingratiated into himself and so into himself in a healthy way that he wants no one else to be like him. He's so satisfied with being him, he gives others the space to be who they are. And that's what makes him a sex symbol, is that he's always an object. And I'll get to that. He's always an object. But him being an object, you would think that if anybody was to give somebody unsolicited advice or say, hey, be like me, it would be that guy, the sex symbol. But the sex symbol is comfortable in his own skin. Nothing makes him uncomfortable because he's so satisfied with himself. And so the men around him are dissatisfied with themselves. And then they take any opportunity to brag about being a part of that man's success. And how does that manifest? Unsolicited advice. Constantly trying to tell you what to do. When you haven't accomplished, that man has not accomplished a fraction, a semblance of what the sex symbol man has accomplished. They know it's nonsensical, but they just can't help themselves because they're so uncomfortable in your presence. There's some men listening to me right now. You're going to have to permanently separate yourself from some people. You keep having conversations with yourself about giving these people grace, giving these people room. Maybe you have a conversation with them. But guess what? The men around you know when you're separating from them. I'm not talking about through ambition in life. I'm talking about your annoyance with the disrespect and the unsolicited. Like, they know when you're getting annoyed with them. And since they're skilled manipulators, they'll go into possum mode for a while. They'll cool it off. And then when they can't help themselves anymore, boom, right back to the same thing. Right back to the same thing. Because they can't help themselves because they refuse to help themselves. They refuse to develop ambition, focus, drive, fearlessness, and execution. They refuse to develop those attributes. And so they can't help themselves because they refuse to help themselves. And when they get in the presence of elevated greatness, people who have helped themselves, then they can't help themselves but try to ingratiate themselves into that man's space falsely through manipulation, trying to attach themselves to his name. That's what unsolicited advice is. Why do you think they want to give you so much advice? They want to be able to go around and brag and say, I was a part of that. Because they don't have it within themselves to be a part of themselves. And so some of you are going to have to permanently separate from these guys. Because there's going to come a point in time, and I've been around this so much. I've been around it so much with other men where things will be good for a while, but then there's just too much separation when they get into my space and they see the reality how women offer themselves to. About how I put in my energy and effort into my businesses and the cars I was able to drive, the lifestyle I was able to have, the jewelry, the clothes, all that kind of stuff. And it was only a matter of time before it was a ticking time bomb from every man around me where that jealousy overtook them. And so this is what I'm trying to say. If you see those things taking shape, if you're improving yourself and you see those things taking shape in your life, then get out right now. That's grace that should not be extended to another man because his heart is not right towards you. If that man is afraid to explore himself, but wants to be a part of your success and wants to associate his name with you, then that is not a situation that's going to end well for you. There's going to be a blow up, or when the jealousy really overtakes the next man that's close to you, and the hardest realization that they can come to is that they can never beat you. And then once they come to that realization, then that's when they start trying to put stuff on your name, trying to bring your name down, trying to give you advice around other people to act like they putting you on to some game or something like that. That's when that jealousy has overtaken them. And when jealousy has overtaken a man because he's concluded that he cannot be that man, then the only thing that he can do is literally and figuratively bring you down. Those are the motherfuckers that'll take you out. Those are the motherfuckers that'll set you up. And so you all need to start paying attention if you're elevating yourself and you're transitioning into that sexy, attractive man, that sex symbol man, or you've transitioned like you've become that man. Your regular experiences do not mirror the previous inferior experiences that you used to have. You've been offered a seat at the table of your personal greatness. If this is the case, then you need to separate yourself from the people around you who cannot handle the ascension that you've achieved as a man. You have to separate yourself because conflict is going to be consistent, because they're going to be insistent that you be like them because they don't want to take the measures and steps to be like you. They want to be like you, but the only thing they know is manipulation. So the only thing they know is to attach themselves to you instead of attaching themselves to themselves, desiring to be no other man than themselves. They don't know that rhetoric. They don't know that mindset because they fucking hate themselves. And so you have to be very careful about who is in your presence. It's a very dangerous game keeping the wrong men around you who are jealous of you. And you have to notice those subtleties and disrespect, trying to undermine your accomplishments, trying to bring your name down, always trying to tell you what to do when they know that they haven't accomplished anything close to what you've accomplished. They're delusional. I mean, if you think someone's supposed to be delusional, like men are supposed to be logical, in tune with reality. Like, that's why men are created to stabilize women. They're supposed to be the illogical ones, the emotional ones, the ones, who struggle with reality. But, to have men around you moving in feminine ways, like, a lot of these guys are going to move very feminine. I've seen it. I've seen men around me who watch my channel and they'll see me out in public and motherfuckers try to size me up. Like, oh, you're a little bit taller, but like automatically start competing. And then there was one guy, he was talking to one girl. The dude saw me as soon as he came out of the spot. Oh, you're Matthew C. Horne, man. Watch your channel, this and that. And the motherfucker he stood beside me, tried to size me up, all this other bullshit. Then he was talking to this one girl. And then the niggas finished talking to her and came back to me. It was like, yeah, man, you hollered at her. I was like, yeah, I hollered at all of them while you was talking to that one. And then would say the gay shit this nigga did, man. I was standing beside a girl I had already hollered at. And then the motherfucker looked at her and was like, yeah, talk to him. Like he was going to do me a favor. Like I wasn't a dating coach that he recognized in public. But that's the type of shit that I'm talking about, man. Like when you start to elevate and you have visible results of your efforts that you've given to life because you take yourself seriously. You don't want to be any other man than yourself. This is coming, man. This is coming. And you're going to have to draw some lines. And there's no point in trying to rearrange relationship dynamics because once a man shows you his heart towards you, there's nothing that's going to change it because he's already concluded that you're too far away from him and that he wants to be you, but he can't. So the only thing he can do is undermine you, bring you back to reality. Oh, this nigga think he like that. Yes, he is, because he made choices that were like that for his life to go in the right direction. So you will have to be very careful about who's around you. You have to be vigilant. You have to pay attention. And when you see that jealousy start to rise up in these men around you, that subtle disrespect, them always trying to give you unsolicited instruction and advice, just get out of there. It's nothing good that's going to come from that. These men are stuck. They hate themselves. They have gifts and talents just like you, but they refuse to explore themselves. Nothing good comes from these men. They're miserable. And they see you climbing towards greatness. So take yourself seriously. And a good way to take yourself seriously is to observe the energies around you as you ascend to your personal greatness. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a video tonight talking about the sex symbol man, subtle jealousy from the men around him. Disrespect and subtle jealousy from the men around him. It gets some more plain than that, okay? It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And if you've been inspired by my message, then I want you all to go ahead and make your donation, okay? Make a donation to my PayPal and my Cash App information that's in my video description, all right? And if you want me to make a custom video, you know the drill. You know the drill. Email me at matthewchorne.com with the title of the video that you want me to make. Because I hear you all in the comments, you want me to make videos on particular topics. It doesn't work that way. If you need a custom video, email me at matthewchorne.com. Leave your name in the, we'll leave your video title on PayPal and Cash App. I apologize. Leave your video title that you'd like me to make in a note feature on PayPal and Cash App. There's a note feature. When you put your donation in of $150 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App, there's a note feature. And the note feature is where you put the title of the video that you want me to make, and you complete your donation of $150 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App, okay? And then I have your video on my channel in 24 hours or less. If your topic is more nuanced, just leave the note on PayPal and Cash App. You complete your $150 or more donation without the note, and then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more in-depth and nuanced description of what you want to make your video on. Your video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. If you're in need of coaching, if you have circular movements, impediments, challenges in the dating space that you've been unable to overcome, then I want you to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. In the subject matter of the email, you leave coaching. In the body of the email, you leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issues that you're facing in the dating space. I'll do an assessment, then I'll email you back with the terms of the coaching. Once you accept the terms, we'll set a date and time, and the coaching will commence. You give me 1 hour of your life is going to exponentially be better. Any challenges, setbacks, frustrations that you're facing with women, I can get you to the other side of it so that you have a mind to not recreate those results. Breakthroughs is what I'm talking about. Then I'm still looking to fill the remaining slots of the 5 individuals who are taking a year-long coaching journey with me, okay? In the year-long coaching journey, what you're going to get is 3 coaching calls per week minimum, because I'm going to do an assessment of exactly where you are and where you want to be in life. So we're going to start it off with 3 coaching calls per week. And the very first coaching call is going to be a breakthrough. It's going to be custom coaching to exactly where you are. That's a reflection of taking you to exactly where you want to be. The coaching is going to be heavy, and it's going to start at the very first coaching call. You're going to begin to get breakthroughs. 3 coaching calls per week, and then you're going to have 24-hour access to me as well, meaning that you can call me, text me, email me, whatever you want to do. In between coaching calls, if you find yourself in any situation in life or with any woman, I can get you to the other side. I'm your dating coach for a year. And in addition to that, I'm actually going to meet up with you in person, no matter where you are in the world, at least once. It gets no better than that, okay? My coaching, all of my offerings do cost money. Do not reach out to me if you're not willing to invest in yourself. I cannot say that enough, okay? But if you're interested in my year-long coaching journey, then I want you to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. In the subject of the email, put mentorship. In the body of the email, you put your name, your phone number, and whatever issues that you're facing in terms of where you want to be, your struggles, your impediments, your challenges, and where you want to land, your breakthroughs, what your ideal picture of your life looks like, okay? You email that to me. Then I'm not going to email you back. I'm going to call you back. Your name, your phone number, okay, in the email. I'm going to call you back. And we're going to get on the line, and we're going to decide if we're a good fit to work with one another over the course of a year. That's what we're going to do. So reach out to me for your year-long coaching journey. You give me 1 year of your life, and you all know you're going to be working with the best, and your life is never going to be the same, okay? Lastly, my dating coach community on the school platform, I want everyone to sign up. In this dating coach community, I give exclusive content every week that is not on YouTube, okay? Exclusive content throughout the month that is not on YouTube, exclusive videos. In addition to that, every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a Zoom. We have a live right in the community, okay, right in the school community. And the members of the community get on the live with me. I do a monologue on a particular topic, and we discuss that topic back and forth. We dialogue on it. And then after that's over, everyone gets to ask me whatever they want to ask me for an hour. I'm their dating coach for an hour. Every week. It's a very affordable monthly membership. I want everyone to sign up. Every live that we've had is archived in the community. You can watch the dozens of lives that we had, binge watch, catch up, and grow. Every custom video that I've made for the community is archived. Dozens of videos in the community that you can watch, grow, elevate, and experience breakthroughs. Exclusive content over there. Sign up for my dating coach community on the school platform at the link in my video description. I've enjoyed spending some time with you all tonight. And please remember that the subtle disrespect and the trying to posture themselves as being on your level, as trying to influence you to be like them because they refuse to be like you, this comes standard with elevating as a man. And when you're a sex symbol man, you're an object. You're an object, which means that there's going to always be shit coming at you, good and bad. There's always something coming at you. If you're an object, you're a public object. When you choose to elevate yourself and separate yourself from the pack of men who just talk, and you actually put action, focus, belief, and outcomes beside your name, that's going to separate you from the pack. That's the quintessential sex symbol man right there. He has a focus for his life, and he's fearless, and he can execute. And the love that he has for himself exudes from the inside out. You can see it on his appearance. He takes himself seriously in every facet. That's why he gives the best of himself, and that's why the best always comes back to him. That's why he's separated from the men that once upon a time he may have been beside. And whatever their sentiments are towards you and your personal growth is none of your business. Your only business is to observe and to always be in the spaces of people and atmospheres that revere you and celebrate you in accordance with the man that you become. I see you all soon.